Hello, Victor here again, restoringmercedes.com. This is going to be part 14 for the soft top installation on the R129 Mercedes SL 500. This is the project car, so this is one of the last jobs to be performed because everything else is almost, well, the whole car, I mean, it's pretty much done. It's just that the soft top. Now, part 14. Part 13 was not very lucky given the number, and today I went and did the front seal, the rear seal, the side inner parts glued in here, the corners glued in, and the side flaps glued in. I also had to relocate the locks. I had to relocate the seal just so it looks okay. Clean the seal, of course. I figured there's a cylinder leaking over there, but not the cylinder itself, but the pipe that goes into the cylinder that I have to deal with later. But again, before the sun is out, I just wanted to explain the situation. Now, because the tension is so high, and again, see previous videos where I explain why the tension is so high, because of the other roof was too short, so I was very paranoid, so I made this thing so tight that I have absolutely zero chances that these windows will, you know, they will like not going to be straight. So they are perfectly straight, as you can see. More tension, better for the windows, but the problem is that more tension, the shorter the top. Shorter the top, the hydraulics cannot stretch it. So that's it's like it's a code lock, you know. And then once you screw it in, then you have no, you know, you cannot roll it back, so you're done. All right. So anyway, so what I did here is that this side is actually a little better than the other side because the tension on this side was slightly less, but the side flaps here are good. But you see how much I have to overcompensate. That's a lot. That's huge. And even at that, there is a little bit of a flap here, which isn't visible at all. And even inside the car, you're not going to really see it, because my thing is I want to cover this set screw here. So that's very important. So I glued this side. I had to reglue it one more time because the I'll show you in a second. The set screw here, as you can see, moved in like toward inside the car because originally it was here, so I moved it in. The other set screw, I moved it out. So just like I said, I have to overcompensate all this tension. And the corner here is going to be fine. I actually had to lower this whole section down slightly, so here it touches a little bit. I have no choice. I have to do what I have to do just to make it look good. Now the rear section side flaps here, they had no set screws, by the way. It's just like I put my own set screw here just to hold it together, but in reality this very little area, this is for the elastic band here. You see this band? This band has to go in here. Okay, so that is why this indentation is made. So you screw it in here, and then you put the set screw together with the elastic band, and then you're gonna start gluing this section the way you want to position it and the way you want to center it. So that is that. Same story obviously is on the other side. The roof is barely making it. The rear section is not touching the paint. It's just about like a couple of millimeters away, but I want to stretch the roof tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a very hot day, like 92, humid. I'm going to set it up over there and let it bake in the sun all day. But I want to get as much glue done today so it sets overnight, so it's not going to unglue tomorrow because of the heat, right? So that's the thing. Now, locks are lifted up, so there is still about this much to go down. So if you go down about say 5 millimeters, that line is going to collapse and it's going to be against the paint. But when I first glued this top, locks were up, but tension was so high, so I lifted the locks up so to relieve the tension. So let the roof stretch first, and then once it stretches, then the locks can be lowered down again, and then this line is going to be about the paint line. That's, well, you know, like I said, like I explained in previous video, it's like one small little mistake, you have to now put so much effort and so many little details into fixing the issue, and that's what I'm dealing with. So yeah, then the front section here, so this seal is cleaned up and installed. The lines pretty much lined up all right, so we're okay there. The other side, oh yeah, by the way, the one more thing, this one is a little different, slightly off, but so slightly that, you know, it's just, I mean, maybe I'm just getting too insane. Now, on top of all that, today I was working around and the bee stung me in my foot right here, this area right here. So now I have to work bare feet because well, it hurts, you know, so I cannot put my shoes on. It just happened a few hours ago. But anyway, the work has to be complete. Now I'm still leaving these extra pieces of material away, you know, like just like uncut. Now, as you can see, there are no holes here no more, so there are screws to go in there. So obviously, where do you know where the screws are? Well, by feel, I'm going to find where they are, and I'm going to actually burn the holes for those screws. I'm not going to cut anything. I'm going to burn holes because that is going to be better. So I will have the opening just like this one. This is obviously going to be trimmed, right? This is to be cut off. But I want not only that, the plate to secure it. Where's the plate? Like the bar, this bar right here. I don't want not only that, this bar to hold it in place, right? But also the actual holes. They will be not just like big round holes that the screw heads will make if I were to do it like that, but it's going to be the small little opening just like they did at the factory here, as you can see, right? So this is better. So that's the trim line and the weather seal to go in there. That's where the window slides against, right? So that's important because actually, wait a minute, this little fold has to go in there a little bit, and I'm not gluing it now. I'm going to show you why. So there is a little bit of a rebar here, and that goes in there like that, right? So we have pretty much almost a perfect corner. I'm saying almost all the time because this thing is called soft top. So, and this is not factory, so this is never going to be original. But if you can make it as good as you can make it, so this is how it's going to end up, right? So this is good. I have no problems with that because it is what it is. We're dealing with what is, plus my mistake, my little error, which is, like I said, that is correctable because I didn't screw up that much. And the reason I have these flaps open right now is that I do want to separate these two sections, of course, because I do have to glue the headliner to this bar, and also the spoiler, the little rubber spoiler that's supposed to go in there. Plus we have this. This is a silicone, kind of a bead of silicone on the tape. This is a Mercedes part, and that has to be applied in between two layers, two sections of the roof, so no water can get in between them and start leaking, I mean, inside, and rust away those screws. So that's very important. Plus, again, the spoiler, I mean, I know the spoiler, I mean, it's just like crazy, but I want to put that spoiler in. So the reason I had this section screwed in the first place is because I had to move the rear section outward slightly, like about maybe 3/8 of an inch or so, just to relieve a little tension off the roof. And I wanted to set, so it's been setting for 2 days. So now I can separate this section. This the front section and the rear section is still going to be glued fine. Obviously, I'm going to lift the top up, and it's going to be all right. So that is fine. And then I can put the molding and I can put the bead of silicone. Then I screw it all back together, and then I can do these flaps and I can do the sides. Making this video just to make it because it's going to be dark soon, and I don't want to make these things when it's too dark. I also have to run some heat around the seams because there's some leftovers from the threads, and that's another thing, but that's from the inside. The window, I wiped it down with some mineral spirits and alcohol, so from the inside, of course, and on the outside too, actually. That's that. Cable tension. Cable tension, I kind of eyeballed it. This is about right. As you can see, it's straight as it can be. Like, I have absolutely zero issues with the rear section. That's a funny part about all this job. It's just like, that's what I was extremely concerned and super over focused, over concentrated, whatever. I was just like so bummed out with the rear section because I want these windows to be straight. I don't want them to go like down. I don't want this to be like folding in. I want it to be this one round, this one is straight, the other one round. That's what I wanted. So that's why I got all this tension made. And it does look nice. And at the end of the day, to be honest with you, if somebody would come over and like, and if I'd look at this roof, and this is perfectly fine. I'm just like extremely like particular, I guess. I mean, I got this, I gotta get on some pills or something, I don't know, to relieve all these worries and stresses and whatever, because this is nice. Because I have another convertible parked away, and that roof is not as good as this. And that was a replacement roof, but not even close. Yes, the windows are clear, but they're not straight. They're like diving in. These windows are folding in a little bit. It's like, you know, the folds all over the place. Some areas I don't like. Yes, I don't like a couple of areas here and there, but at the end of the day, this is what we are, and it is what it is. Now, next thing is that I'm going to undo both sections, like I said, and then I'm gonna start with the headliner because the sun is down. It's a very hot day today anyway, so I was sweating my eyes out. And see, this little line is okay because it's just going to cover over, so when the trim piece goes, it's going to be no extra material in there. See, all these small little things, I mean, it is what it is. It's just the way this roof is made. As you can see, the set screw moved away because I have tension here because of the side flaps. So now this hole is no longer, it's not relevant anymore. I just had it. And you know, again, I would probably will say that that's not a good idea to make your set holes, like set screws. I would rather work with glue next time. I have to do another roof, like, I don't know, whenever. So it's that the next time I would probably only rely on glue, because glue can be undone and the roof can be repositioned, it can be reglued, and that's it. But I started with pre-fitting the roof with set holes, and that's wrong, because if you're gonna go with the set screws, you cannot undo it. You have a hole and it's over. So what are you gonna do with the hole? If you need to like stretch the material right now, let's say this hole would have been at the edge, right? So I would move the material out so then the hole is visible. That's the point. So this is kind of my guidance, I guess. You know, I don't know what else to say. And I have to continue working on the headliner, because headliner also has to stretch, and I still have to think about the rear bar here, because it's just about there, the stitch line. This one is gonna make it fine. This is the center. This is pretty much almost centered. That I have no issue with. The frontal portion, same thing, but this is going to be done when the roof is absolutely stretched out, and then you glue this at the very end. Obviously, before you put the headliner and screw it in, you have to glue that those three, and then you click in the headliner after that. So right now, obviously, there is no headliner. The flaps over there, as you can see, yes, there is a little bit of areas where you can see a little bit of a flap there. And over here, Yes, that I cannot fix. And also I have to put in the extra pieces of fabric in between the rear section and the rear bar, because those are not there now. So I'm gonna have to put those in there and glue them in. It's an extra support, you know, just like I got a bunch of them cut in because I keep losing them. Here's one. Here is the original. Okay, so this came undone right away, but I want to put a bigger one. That's what I want to put in. So yeah, because this very last set screw here, that is tensed up a lot, so I want to put some glue around it, glue it in, and yeah, that's what I want to do. So that's why these flaps are off. And well, I guess that would be all for now. I had an idea of maybe like gluing this section when I have the whole front out. Maybe I will do it. I'm gonna fold it out, but the problem with that, and I have to undo cables, and I don't really want to undo cables anymore. It's just like, no, I don't know. Once I get this section separated from the rear section, front and rear, then I see how much room I have, how much distances I have, and what have you. But cables are there, so cables are stretched out, so I don't think I can have that luxury of flipping this whole material forward. And then, but from factory it wasn't glued here. This is unglued, just the layer right here, just the line. That's all it was. All right, so there will be always a late night video, I guess, with this roof. Anyway, so let's take a look at the headliner situation. The rear section and the front section separated, so they're apart. The spoiler is glued in, so it's ready to go. Now the headliner is also glued in. I did my best to line this thing up. As you can see the line on it. Nobody's gonna ever see this, but I tried to make it as straight as possible to glue this in, because this is contact cement. So the contact cement, you touch it, that's it. It's glued in, so it's done. So you can move it around. So that's my the best I can do. Obviously, I had my end screws. Some other screws here just protrude, so just so I can see the outlines from original positions here and here, and the center line, of course, that's the center screw. Well, anyway, that came out okay, no problems there. Now yeah, a bunch of lights because I need to see my lines. It's just like, you know, I don't know why I always get to these kind of like jobs like at night. I don't understand that. I mean, it's like when it just comes down to like precise stuff, I always do it at night. That's why I bought this big light over there too, and all the others. All right, anyway, so this is all glued in. Another screw is protruding. Okay, great. Now this is the silicone. Basically, it's a silicone on the tape. That's what it is. You can use regular silicone, of course. You could put the bead over and that will be fine, but the thing is, I don't know, you know, I just use this because it's easier for me. Besides, this particular silicone can mask my error and you know, the stretch side, so that's gonna mask it over. I'm thinking of putting another layer because the layer of silicone is supposed to go down under there, but I put it on top because when I put this bar over, this is gonna be final. This is it. Like, I'm joining like right now, and there's no way that this is coming off anymore. So this is what it looks like after I rolled it. See, flat line. Actually, as a matter of fact, I mean, I can just leave this one and that's it, because it is going to seal pretty well. Well, maybe not. You know, I like my stuff done the way I have the idea in my head. So anyway, the silicone line is supposed to go across these openings right there. You see, these are the screw holes. So you want to silicone the screw holes so they don't rust, because the bar is chromed, but it's steel, it's magnetic, so it can rust. So if you have the water going into the screw hole, then obviously screws will rust. So that's why I want to put the double line, and whatever excess I have, I can trim it. And that's what I'm gonna do. First I'm gonna, first I roll this one over, and then I'm going to put another line and roll that line over, and whatever excess I have, I'll trim, because this is the original headliner. You can see the black line here. This is the resemblance of the old silicone. See this? That's the old silicone. The problem is that I cannot clean this. I'm afraid to discolorate the actual headliner. Also, to glue the headliner, I clicked it in onto the second bar from the rear, so it doesn't fall down. And then actually when I was gluing it, I actually had it clicked in onto this bar, so it's just more or less straight, so I can kind of see the line. And that's what I did. And that's pretty much going to be all right now. I'm gonna put another bead of silicone across. I'm determined to do it. I will do it regardless. And then I'm gonna join two together. I'm gonna let them sit. I'm going to leave the roof unclicked, like not locked up. And then that front section, same thing, not locked up. Let all the glue set, because I also glued in these little sections, because manufacturer of this roof, they just kind of they glued it, but it's just like the glue is so weak. This is one of their this is one of their patches, right? So it's like it's glued, but it's just not, whatever. I made my own patches, and bigger ones, and glued it with the glue that I use, because that glue is evil. I mean, once you touch it, I mean, it just sticks like crazy. The more I work with that glue, the more I will work with it, actually, because that weld wood, what is that? What is the can right here? Weld wood, contact cement, cannot mess with this. If you're going to apply it at the right temperature, let it sit, let it like dry up a little bit, and then you touch two surfaces together, that's it, it's over. It just like sticks. But again, I'm still not taking my chances. I'm still going to let it settle a little bit. But this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this off right now. Take this. Oh, cannot do that. And I'm going to put another layer of this silicone right here. Yep. This is what it looks like. One more layer won't hurt, and if I need to trim it, I'll trim it, and that will be all. Okay, so this is going to be a very last one, because it's like past 1 a.m. in the morning. So anyway, I got the spoiler glued in. That's what it looks like, and all the screws in there secured, and there was silicone that was coming out, obviously, because I put it so close to the edge. There's still some bleeding through, as you can see it. That has to be cleaned off. Just go and close up right there, right? It was way worse over here. There was like a blob of silicone come out. Just seriously, I cleaned it off already, but I would clean silicone under the spoiler a little more before the night is gone. Well, the night is already on anyway. But what I wanted to see is, I wanted to see the headliner, because I wanted to see what that headliner would look like. This is what it looks like. Yes, there are some areas that are probably a little bit down, unfortunately, but like it's not really horrible. Yeah, there are like couple of areas that are still, I mean, I'm not touching that. That's it. It's all. This is what it looks like. It looks good. And this front section is not secured, so it doesn't matter right now at this point in this video. So we're just looking at the headliner, what it looks like, and it looks really nice, so I'm happy with that. And tomorrow is going to be very hot, like I said, so I'm going to park it away in the sun, let everything stretch out, let everything get together, and then maybe in the morning I'm going to glue up these sections. I'm going to trim up these sections. I'm gonna, it's just like it never ends, just like never ends. It's almost there, right? But at the end of the day, I still have to align the locks and all that good stuff. But I mean, this is as good as it gets. All right, so that's basically all. Spoiler is in, headliner is glued in, and I'm gonna park it away. I'm gonna put some plastic over the roof because the cats like to sleep on roofs, like that guy right there. That's the old canvas, and he really likes to sleep on that. So for that very reason, I want to cover it up, right? So they don't sleep on plastic, the cats. But either you have cats or you have mice. So what do you choose? Yeah, the light broke down. Yeah, it fell down and it broke. So it is what it is. The frontal portion of the headliner is just secured with some zip ties, just to have some sort of a structure so it doesn't fall down. That's that. And yeah, so we're just gonna wait until this thing stretches out and off we go, and it will be done. Alright, so this is definitely all. I'm beat up. I've been up since like 6 a.m. in the morning. It's like past 1 a.m. already, so I can't, not even say my name. But the window is, as you can see, nice and tight. That's what I was pretty concerned about. Like, it's like bubbles up, so it's nice. So yeah, all right, so this is all. Victor here, restoringmercedes.com. Thank you for watching.